A day in my life as a fire lookout is typically pretty chill. In the morning, I'll wake up anytime before 8 o'clock. And if it's cold, I'll start a fire. Sometimes I'll eat a little bit of food, but I typically don't eat breakfast. And then the first thing I do is I'll take the weather with a portable weather kit. So I use a dry bulb and wet bulb to get the temperature and then calculate a relative humidity. And then I'll use a wind meter to measure wind speed. After I've recorded that, I'll head up to the tower and I'll look around. That's my primary job, is just watching for smoke from the tower. So throughout the day, I have to be scanning for smoke regularly, and then at minimum once per hour, scanning with binoculars to make sure that I don't miss any area. If I find smoke, then I will report it to dispatch. That way they can then dispatch the units that need to go to that fire. Often I will go up to the tower and I'll scan and look around, and then I'll sit and read for a while. Recently, I haven't been hanging out up there in the mornings because the bugs have been really bad, but the afternoons it gets really nice. At about 10:30 every morning, the fire weather for our district is broadcast over the radio, and then after that, there's a radio check-in where they just check in, make sure everything's going well here, I'm awake and at work, and my radio's working. There's another one of those in the afternoon at about 3:30 where they broadcast the weather, and then they check in and see if all the lookouts are doing well. And in the afternoon, I take the weather again. Another job that I have is just to represent the Forest Service, whether I'm on shift or off. Sometimes visitors will come up, so one of my other responsibilities is to talk to them, maybe answer their questions, show them the tower, etc. And then there are a few other duties that don't necessarily have to do with the job, but just have to do with living out here in general. We don't have running water, so we have some tanks that can be filled up with the engines with non-potable water, and then we have 5-gallon containers and some 7-gallon containers that we can fill up with a spring down the road for potable water. And then we don't have electricity, so I'll take our power station out and I'll hook it up to solar panels here, and I'll move around the solar panels to get the best sun all day. That way we have enough power to power our Starlink and charge our devices. So I really enjoy this job. It gives me some time to, read a book or do some small projects or spend more time with my wife and hang out with the dogs and just have fun living in the woods, which is something I have always enjoyed doing. So I've really enjoyed it so far, and I look forward to the rest of the summer.